Good evening and welcome everybody to the 2025 Drake Orchestra Program Halloween Concert. We are so excited. I've heard from so many students and families that this is one of your favorite concerts of the year. So I'm thrilled that this year we have 4 orchestras playing for you tonight. So we're going to start out with the 6th grade orchestra, and then we'll transition to 7th and 8th, but hopefully the transitions will be quick. So the 6th grade is playing 2 pieces for you tonight, and the first one is called Russian Music Box. Our next piece is going to sound familiar. So 6th grade, it's amazing to me that the progress they've made since they started this year. If you remember the 5th grade concert at the end of last year, the difference from that to this is just seeing them every day for an hour. It just makes the biggest difference. The next piece that you're going to hear is going to be familiar to all the older students. It's one of my favorite pieces when I get a new ensemble of kids who are playing together for the first time. And it's just a super fun one. It's called First Finger Rock.
seventh grade orchestra. Let's give them a hand. My name is Alyssa Chase, and this is my first year with Drake It, and it's been wonderful working with these kids, especially with the transition from them not having Mrs. Callahan anymore, and they've just been awesome the whole 2 months we've been together so far. We're going to start off with the Addams Family theme, so please snap along if you know when.
Featuring 2 large dinosaurs in the back. I wish I had my camera. I kind of love that. They made it work with their wrists so they could play, like they have it wrapped around, so it's awesome. Before I forget, I wanted to take a minute to thank the boosters. The Drake It Performing Arts Boosters does a lot to help us plan our field trips. This year we have the 6th graders are going to the Boston Symphony to hear, they do a special youth concert aimed at students that age. That's in March. And then we go to Six Flags in May for the 7th and 8th graders. And then this year the high schoolers are going to New York City overnight for a couple nights. And the boosters do a tremendous amount of work to help us. There's just a lot of things they do, but there's a few like instrumental people who do a lot of work, and it's a great help. We really appreciate them. If you've ever been looking for a volunteer opportunity in the music department, we meet once a month on Monday nights for about 45 minutes. It's pretty painless, so please join. All right, so without further ado, the 8th grade orchestra, we're going to play a song that I think you will remember from the 80s, Thriller. All right, our next piece, when the high schoolers heard that they were playing it, they're like, you let them play that? That's our piece. And I was like, you don't own the piece. It's an amazing piece to teach. It's one of like the orchestra department's favorite pieces. And I think, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but it might not be the only time I'll hear the high school parents hear it. It's called Spartacus. So let's hear it for our 8th grade orchestra. orchestra. We have 3 pieces for you tonight, and the first one is called Phantom Waltz, and it has a special duet solo part for cello. And this is being played by 2 seniors. We have Emma Green on the cello and Hayden Ludovico also on cello. Our next piece is based on an Edgar Allan Poe poem, The Telltale Heart. It's called Evil Eye and the Hideous Heart. Isn't that amazing? There's this one section in the middle that literally makes me feel anxious because the sounds from the bass and cello, like that heartbeat sound. Did you guys feel that? It's awesome. Our last piece for you, Dia de los Muertos, which I learned was a couple days ago, the holiday Dia de los Muertos. And for this piece, we have a few students doing percussion instruments. We have Vincent Whalen on the claves. Audrey Baker is going to play the cowbell for us, and Emily Koger is playing the maracas. And it's our final piece, so before we go, just another huge thank you to Dr. Cardella, to Chloe and Alistair in the booth. I really appreciate you being here tonight, to Mr. Morrow for helping set everything up, to Ms. Chase, an amazing colleague. I'm so grateful to have her here in Drake-It. And thanks to all of you parents, because without you, we wouldn't be making this amazing music tonight and having this amazing community. So I'm really grateful for all of your support. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Isn't it amazing?